No looking at my mustache. Mustache! No mustache. Alright, let's get into the reason why I'm remaking this video, and this is why. Too long to edit! So, I'm gonna re-upload this video in my format where we talk about the anti-furry history of part 1. Let's get into it!
Now, something that is important to understand from the gate will be some definitions. Despite the current predominant manifestation of anti-furs being people who just run their mouth in comment sections, much like furry fandom, that is just one layer of the onion.
Keep in mind, I want you guys to respect my content, respect others, and whether you guys agree or disagree regarding to being a furry or not, you still don't need to treat them in disrespectful manners by running your mouth and start saying slurs and hate speeches. So please don't do that when I make this video.
For a long period of time, roughly from 1990 to the early 2010s, anti-furries were in fact furries. If you were an anti-furry, you were a furry, no question, no doubt, but you were simply somebody who was protesting aspects of your fandom.
So it truly says a lot of the furries that go anti-furries have hate for their own personal reasons. It's not even for the whole fur community as a whole. And a lot of times when they target their hate, it's because of something that they've experienced themselves. And so now they're portraying that as a whole onto the group of furries, which is bad.
These were commonly referred to as burned furs, and they were still active in the fandom, identified as furries, but had issues with different things in the fandom, whether it be adult content or certain artists they don't like. Some of these older terms included griefer because they had so many grievances.
And again, that was a more personal reason, and they decided to just take it up a notch and form different groups that you guys will see later on in this video he mentions.
As time went on, more individuals started to ally to this cause that were not furries and had not really had any exposure or limited exposure to the fandom. You begin to see reasons given for this behavior ranging from harassment or just trying to get a few people together to laugh at the reaction generated by the drama.
Drama that had no baselines to start and begin with, and as you guys know, the thing that trends on the internet and always has been is drama.
The oldest incarnation there seems to be record of, the Save Our Fandom movement, and this was the early to mid 1990s. Members called themselves the SOF Furs. This particular group publicly advocated for the removal of perceived fringe elements from the fandom, especially furry lifestylers and gay furries.
Now, keep in mind, a lot of these groups that existed only existed for maybe a year to like 3 or 4 years. There is this other group that I did talk about that existed for almost 10 years, but that's a super niche group, and they eventually fell off too. I'll talk about that in this video up here, the history behind that group a little bit, and yeah, if you guys want to watch that, feel free.
In August of 1999, we have our next group, Furries Against Animal Abuse. This was formed to protest any kind of bestiality or zoophilia in furry fandom. But unfortunately, when going through the archived material, it appears like it very quickly devolved into drama with false accusations being hurled around and people comparing it to the Salem witch trials or McCarthyism. The group disbanded in September of 1999, only about a month later.
The drama revolved around Daphne Lag, who was a Spanish artist in the fur community who basically gave up into early 2000s because of what happened in the early 1990s regarding to her and the furry art that she was making. For the sake of sanity, because I forgot what I wanted to say in this part, I'm going to put my old video back in and see what I said into that.
In mid-1996, the Take Back Our Fandom movement began. It was a furry ideological group mostly rooted in conservative ideals rather than furry hate ones. That came as being a non-intended consequence.
Well, that's it apparently for part 1. I didn't really react to the 1996 incident because there's really not much for me to talk to about you guys about that issue, because while it was a big drama issue from 1996 till like early 2000s, we didn't start seeing a massive attack on the furry community until later 2008, and then 2013 to 2014 we actually saw a physical attack in a furry con, which I do talk about in that video later on. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Please hit the like, subscribe, hit the all bell notification, and I'll see you guys next time for part 2 of this. Bye, y'all.